strikes targeting Israeli sites in Tel Aviv and Eilat. The IRGC says the attacks targeted military installations and industrial facilities, claiming significant damage. And coming to you, Mr. Srivastav, with this development.
Yes, I think that kind of capabilities they have, and in this case, in this particular strike in Tel Aviv, there are reports that they may have used hypersonic missiles, and obviously the hypersonic missiles are very much a challenge for any kind of military, whether it is US or Israel, and we had seen that such kind of hypersonic missiles have been used by Iranian side many a times. So I think it has certainly caused some destruction, as reports suggest. But this also shows that despite all devastations on the surface, based missile development and storage facilities, there are still several places deep inside ground where the Iranian Islamic regime is able to keep those missiles intact, and they are also being able to launch it whenever they are willing to. I think this shows their resilience, and this kind of missile development program, that is why has been a matter of a serious concern for the Israel and the United States of America. If you remember that when talks were going on in Oman and elsewhere, that kind of this missile development program was one of the key staking point where both the sides differed, and the United States of America and Israel were pressurizing Iran that they should limit their missile development program. But Iran has pursued very rigorously, I mean, this kind of missile development program, including acquiring hypersonic missiles. I think that has certainly been a challenge for Israel, and Israel is facing the same kind of a challenge as has been reported in Tel Aviv. This may have been a hypersonic missile.
All right. Now, in breaking news, viewers, Iran has claimed that it targeted the U.S. aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln with cruise missiles in its latest wave of attacks. Iranian sources say the strike was part of a large-scale operation involving missiles and drones targeting U.S. naval assets. However, such claims have been contested in the past, with the U.S. previously denying that the carrier was hit or damaged. And Commodore Sodhi, I was reading earlier this morning that Iran had made another claim that it's attacked the Oracle data center in Dubai, and the UAE has also denied the attack. What would you like to say on both the developments?
Well, Vishali, first thing what I would like to say is that so far as the missile program of Iran is concerned, Iran has demonstrated the lethality as well as the range of their missiles. They have ballistic missiles, they have hypersonic missiles, they have got cruise missiles, and many other missiles and drones. So now when you come to the attack on Abraham Lincoln, yes, Iran has claimed that they have carried out strikes on Abraham Lincoln. However, these attacks, America is yet to come out and, confirm these attacks. In the past also, we have seen that such sort of statements had come from Iran, which America had totally denied. With regard to hitting the infrastructure, IT infrastructure, yes, Iran had already threatened these companies, US-based companies in the Middle East, I think 2 days back, that they would carry out attacks on these companies. They started with doing the attack in Bahrain. So Iran remains committed to the aspect that in case Iran is getting targeted, like bridges or any other infrastructure, Iran is going to retaliate and do the same in Middle East. Well, another aspect which is very important is that the statement which has come from the Foreign Minister of Iran, he has condemned the attacks which have been carried out by US earlier on the schools, then on some of the other education, infrastructure, even the cultural sites, and now the latest reports which indicated that there have been attacks on the medical research centers and other medical facilities. So this is an area of concern. The attacks on the civilian structure and these sort of assets in Iran are condemnable, and I hope that such attacks do not happen in the future.
All right, and Mr. Srivastav, I'd also like your comments on this.
Sally, could you just repeat this question, please?
Mr. Srivastav, we're just talking about the fact that there have been some claims made by Israel which have turned out to be incorrect. One is that Iran has claimed a strike. Pardon me, I was talking about Iran. Now, Iran has claimed that has claimed strikes on Oracle data center in Dubai, and the UAE has denied the attack. Whereas,
Yes,
yes, please go on.
Yes, Vaishali, I think that is also very much going on. And the kind of scenarios which are emerging now after President Trump's speech, it is quite possible that many more such business centers, civilian infrastructure could be targeted. And I think next phase of this war will have more such incidents of targeting such business centers and civilian infrastructures, including a power generating plant. And President Trump, even if you look at his speech, even he has been saying and threatening rather that they could strike Iranian oil facilities anytime, but he says that he does not want to do so because if he does that, it will be totally devastating and Iran will not be able to survive. So, but threat is very much there that anything could be targeted. So I think the similar kind of retaliation Iran will also carry out, and they will attempt to target various business centers, US companies operating in the West Asian region, as has been the case here. I think many such attempts will be made by Iranian side, and I think that is going to be the next phase, and that appears to be the emerging scenario in the Middle East region, and that is a matter of very serious concern, because if civilian infrastructures, business areas are being targeted, then it will cause a lot of trouble for the people, those who are working there, those who are residing there, and those cities, whether Dubai or Doha and other places in the Middle East region, have been known for its a very safe environment, but all has gone with this war, and I think the entire region is a much more insecure place, and there is no signs of this war getting wind up. So I think that kind of scenarios will have to people of that region will have to prepare themselves, and they will have to take all sorts of contingency measures through which they can defend themselves. So I think the entire situation is going to be much more grim, Vaishali, in times ahead, and that is what is the reality of the day.
That's right, Mr. Srivastav. The situation is grim, but we're also at a very interesting point in the war. And Commodore Sodhi and Mr. Srivastav, as always, a pleasure speaking to you. It's time, viewers, for a short commercial break. I'll be back shortly.